Welcome back to Home Sweet Home Cooking. Today we are going to do something that I think everybody in our family is going to eat. It's hamburger steak. We're going to do it. I'm going to do some onions and some mushrooms with it, and I'll make some gravy, and we're going to put it all together and have a couple sides with it. It can be a pretty simple meal, something that's a staple for most tables. It is delicious. You see it in a lot of menus. So y'all watch the intro, and we're going to get started on the sauteing of the onions and the mushrooms. The easiest way to do an onion is going to take the green end where it comes up out of the ground, leave the root end on. I'm going to cut this end off. I'm going to peel back the skin from this layer. And then you're left with a nice clean onion with just the root holding it all together. It's not falling apart yet. And even when you cut it, you're gonna cut it in half. You're gonna cut it through the root, right down the middle, into two halves. And because this is all connected, your onion is still in one piece. That's gonna help you control it when you slice it. I'm gonna slice in from the side. I'm not gonna cut all the way through to the root. I'm gonna leave just a little bit there. I'm gonna go in my wedges. Just like that. Now I want these strips for this type of meal. If you're doing a dice, you would just go back and start doing your dice this way. You can make your wedges smaller if you want smaller pieces, or like it is. And then you come back and you cut off your root, and when you saute it up, you'll get your onion strips. That's the easiest way that I found to do onions, and probably the safest. Sauteing. I got it over medium heat. I'm going to put a decent amount of butter in there. Just get it coated a little bit. It doesn't have to be all the way melted. I'm going to add my onions. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get rid of some of the moisture that's in the onions. One way to help that is going to be to add a little bit of the salt. I'm going to add a healthy pinch of salt, and I'm going to probably lower the temperature once they start to get going. I don't want to burn them. I don't want them to get really super brown, but I want them to get nice and pale and translucent. So I'm going to stir these and stir them and cook them down, and then I'll get them out of here and we'll get the mushrooms going. Alright, these are caramelized enough. I'll go ahead and get these out. And unfortunately, because we got picky people in our family, not everybody eats mushrooms. So I'm going to have to do the mushrooms separate, because I don't want to have the mushrooms in with the onions. And also, I did the onions first, so the onions didn't pick up any mushroom flavor if they possibly could have. So now, same thing, I'm going to add some more butter.
They can pick them out and we'll eat them.
Well, I'm just trying to placate the picky people. And I've got 1 pound of pre-sliced mushrooms because I'm too lazy to slice them. Same thing. Gonna give them a pinch of salt. And saute them down. Mushrooms are sauteed down. That pan was about 2/3 full. It's less than 1/3, so they've probably shrunk by 1/4. There's a little bit crispy brown on some, which is the way I like them. I don't know if my mom does, but I like a little extra done on my mushrooms. So I'm gonna get these out. And this time, I'm getting ready to put the meat in. I'm going to oil the pan again just a little bit. But this time I'm just going to put in some cooking oil. Just a little bit. Until some of the fat starts coming out of the hamburger. 90-10 I believe is the percentage on the hamburger. The hamburger's over here. And I'm going to use my very own seasoning spread that I make, or seasoning salt. I call it fire salt. It's got some chipotle, some salt, some garlic, and some onion. I'll just put a little bit on there because this can get warm, spice-wise, and then into the pan. And my hamburger only gets seasoned on both sides because I can. So I'm going to get these going and turn this cut down a little bit until they're cooked through, probably about a medium. I don't really want them too pink. Time to get the first batch out, and when you do that, they say to take one out and then put one in, one out, put one in, and that's supposed to do keep the pan from getting hot. If you take all three out, the pan might get too hot when you put the new meat in. Don't know how true that is. Might work more for fried chicken than it does here, but I did it like that anyway. So they're switched, and we're going to get these done, and we'll be back to make some gravy. Second batch is done. Time to get them out. And now remember, this pan has had the onions and the mushrooms and the beef in it, so you can see all this in the bottom is the cooked off seasonings and the brown bits. That's called fond. That is going to be the base for the gravy. Now the gravy is actually going to be a different episode, so when you come back you'll see the gravy and I'll put the meat back in it, and that's basically your hamburger steak, and you'll see that when I get there. So back after I get the gravy made. Gravy's done. Good brown color, good thickness. And now really all you want to do to finish off your hamburger steak is you're just going to put your burger patties, your hamburger steaks, back in the gravy. Give them a few tosses, get them coated, and keep them warm. And then they're pretty much ready to go. But that is a hamburger steak. And you're just going to flip them over, make sure they're coated in some of the gravy. Keep them moist. And you can let them back on there on a very slow simmer, on a very low warm burner, and they'll stay warm. But that, folks, that is, to me, to our family, hamburger steaks. Now we'll go ahead and show this over on the tasting board, and I'll make up a plate and show it with the mushrooms and onions on. We'll have a taste test over there, but that's how simple it is. We are set to go. We've got our plates going on here. We are doing, again, the hamburger steak. So here is a piece of your hamburger. And go ahead and put on your mushrooms and onions. And then hand me the bowls. I'll take the goofy looking one that's shaped weird. So we both like the onions and the mushrooms, so we're going to do both of those on ours. Sorry for the interruption. Telemarketers called in the middle of the video. So like I was saying, we could probably, everybody in the house would probably eat the onions in with the gravy. Even my dad and my girlfriend.
No, not your dad.
Oh, my dad wouldn't. Okay, so yeah, we couldn't put this in the gravy. Hand me the mushrooms, please. And she's already got the mushrooms on hers. And she's got, how did you get a hair in there, Mom? You weren't even cooking it. She's been picking them out of here with her fingers. That's probably how she got it in there. Alright, I got the mushrooms in there. And I'm going to add just a little more gravy to the top of mine. I probably should have made 3 cups of gravy. And then put a little bit of gravy. You want some more in yours?
No, I got no.
Okay.
That's good.
And I'm going to put a little bit on top of my tater. Just a little bit. And I love the color of this. Came out very beautiful, glossy brown color. Alright, so there's my fork. And hamburger steak time. With mushrooms and onions.
I think I got mushroom and onion. I can't find the steak.
Very simple meal, folks. It's hamburger with some gravy. You can make the packet gravy if you want. You can buy the store-bought gravy in a jar if you want. Or stay tuned for this gravy recipe. It's really simple. It only took an extra, what, 5 minutes to make?
Yeah, about that.
But the flavor of this homemade gravy, made with the, right in the pan with the onions and the mushroom. Oh, fantastic. That is awesome. I would definitely not complain if somebody served this to me in a restaurant. That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Now, just because. We've got corn. We'll link the corn recipe to the video. It's a honey corn. She put the corn on her potatoes.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm going to be happy with this meal. I'm going to be very happy with this meal.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get to eating. My girlfriend, she's a little bit late from work. I got some saved for her. We'll make my dad a plate. And look at that. Another interruption. So, we're going to get these plates made up. And we're going to get to eating, and we're going to have ourselves a good meal. Don't know exactly when these are going to come out. Probably in a couple, well, from now, you'll get them when they come out. So we filmed these a couple weeks ago from when you were seeing them. But we'll try to get them linked together so the corn and the hamburger steak are together, because I think that's a good combination with on the plate. And maybe the gravy, maybe I'll bump the gravy menu in the queue for the Southern Essentials and get that one out. So try this, folks. I think it'll be a hit for your home. It is, I think, for ours. I know my girlfriend and I make hamburger steak all the time, so I don't know about these two. But thank you for watching. Give it a try. Make sure you leave a comment below if you've got a variation on this or how you like yours. And I hope to see you on the next video. Have a great night.
And if you make it, invite us over.
Always.